Okay, the file is downloaded and it's right here. Now I'm simply going to go ahead and double click it. And the moment I double click it, my system is configured to know that this file belongs to the VMware workstation type. It needs to be open in that. So I double clicked it and then it's prompting me to create a new virtual machine out of that file. And that's what exactly OVA is meant for. So I'm going to make it more meaningful. Name here, I'm going to say Cube2 router. And then I'm going to choose the location where I want to install it and then click next. Under the deployment options, I have got a couple of deployment size available: small, medium, large, large plus. So I'm going to choose the small one because this has got the minimal hardware requirement and it's going to take one vCPU and just 4 GB RAM. The medium takes 2 vCPU. The large would take 4 vCPUs. And then finally, the large plus DRAM upgrade would take 4 vCPU and 8 GB RAM. But this is our lab environment. I'm simply going to stick to the small one and proceed. Here, a very important menu options. You can give a host name to your device and then put in your username and password, and then pretty much it. There are more important things to come up here, but then for now, I'm gonna leave everything as is. Let's proceed further. And if we want to configure anything here, enable SCP server, I'm gonna leave it false. Enable SSH login and disable telnet. I wanna say yes, I want to log into the router with SSH and not telnet. So I can straightforward do it from here right away. I don't want any SD-WAN feature because I'm going to use it as a voice cube SBC router. Non-SD WAN configuration, enable password, confirm enable password. If you want to do it, you can do it. Otherwise, I'm going to leave it as is. SD-WAN related configs, not something that matters to us at the moment. So I'm going to just go ahead and click on import and stick to the configuration required only for our voice perspective. So this is going to go ahead and create a new virtual machine. Right here, it's created. And then it's going to go ahead and install it on our virtual environment. So I'm going to say yes, the first option is okay. And then it has started its process of installing our cube router on a virtual machine. And literally, I have nothing to do here except to wait for the installation to complete. So I'm going to pause the video for now and let the installation to be completed. All right, our Cisco Unified Border Element SBC router, the vCube, is finally installed on a virtual machine. Let me enter in here and do enable, and let's start the configuration, at least the basic one. If you want, you can just change the name to something like maybe cube DC2. That's what I'm gonna enter here because it's my cube router in the data center 2. If I were to turn on the interfaces on this router, let's go ahead and log into interface and then do a question mark. We have some gigabit Ethernet here. So I'm gonna say, let me type in here gigabit Ethernet and then question mark. We have got 1 to 32. Just say 1. That's what I remember that we've installed it. Couple of gigabit Ethernet. To check how many gigabit Ethernet interface do we have, let me just do show IP int brief, and we see there are 3 gigabit Ethernet interface, and you can verify that from here as well. Right click setting, and then you see 3 network adapters are added here. All right, okay, and let me come back here, go to the configuration mode. Let's go to interface gigabit Ethernet 1 and assign an IP address 192.168.1.152. That's going to be my IP address of my router. I'm gonna give it a mask of 24 bits, and this is it. Interface gigabit Ethernet 1 is configured. It's time for it to be turned on. It's right now off. There is no power to it. I'm gonna say no shutdown command to turn the gigabit Ethernet 1 to be on. So we are done in terms of IP address assignment. You could do some basic stuff like you can enable uh, MOTD, the banner when you log in. You could do just basic hygiene on your cube router to look good. But here I'm only going to cover the voice perspective. So I'm not going to get into the cube configuration. I'm going to only configure things which are required for the basic setup. Now I have installed our Cube router. It has got our IP address. It's time for us to go ahead and to make some tests. Before doing some tests, let's go ahead and do show IP int brief. Now we see our gigabit Ethernet 1 is on and has got an IP address that we assigned. Its status is also up. All right, let's go ahead and ping our default gateway just to check certain connectivity. Ping 192.168.1.1. That's my default gateway. Yes, success. Now let's do some more IP address ping. All right, we're able to ping a couple of devices, the default gateway and another cube router that I have. Everything is working fine. So in this demonstration, we have just showed you how to download the configuration file from cisco.com and deploy the machine on a VMware workstation, or maybe in the production environment, you have an ESXi environment where you're going to create a virtual machine just like this and then deploy it. Just to give you a recap that the hardware configuration, we did not manually fed that in. We simply downloaded an OVA file from cisco.com. The OVA file constitutes of memory, the processor, the hard disk, number of interfaces, everything. So for you to be relaxed, to feel free, to ease out the process, Cisco has come up with the OVA file itself. You simply go ahead and download that and follow the installation process. You'll have everything with you. In case you want to add something, remove something, you can do it from the menu here. All right, so everything is working fine. We have got a successful Cube router installed. Let me go ahead and open the PuTTY as well so that we can log in from PuTTY session admin and the password. Wonderful. I'm logged in to my Cube router over an SSH session. We are no longer doing the console. We are logged in through a PuTTY software, right? The SSH software. And I could do show run and I could see all the configurations that we made, the interface IP addresses, right? And so on. So this is the time that I'm just gonna save my configuration with whatever is running in the running configuration so that when I boot the next time, my configuration is right there. Well, this is it for this section. See you in the next one. Thanks for watching.